That's fine.
But we won't actually start till 8, you know. See what's happening over there. 5 waiting. Have you all got the YouTube link so that you can talk to people in the chat?
Oh, no, I haven't done that. I will do that now.
Do I need headphones for that?
I'll probably make horrendous noises for a second, but I will try not to do it. You can silence the YouTube, right? Yeah.
Yeah, mute it.
Do you have to mute the tab, or can you just mute it in YouTube?
Just mute it in YouTube, it's fine.
Ah, perfect.
Something's blinking away at me. I'm trying to find what is making a noise. Hello, viewers. Lovely to see you. It's all very exciting here. Very, very exciting. We're just getting ready. We're just trying to find the right website for Rise of the Resistance. That's fine. I've got a close enough one. I thought it'd be the hashtag Rise of the Resistance. It's not. We're the first event of. Look, I'm going to write it. I'm going to write it on a thing, and then it can go at the bottom. Look. Rise of the Resistance. Yeah. It's the first event of the Rise of the Resistance Fest. No, that's not right, is it? The Rise of the... That's it. Rise of the Resisting. It's the first event in the Rise of the Resisting Fest. No, that's not right. It's the... We're going to get it right this time, just because Kip looks like she's about to kill me. Welcome to the first event of the Rise of the Resistance Festival. Long-time hardcore Never Explained viewers will be like, where's Sarah Jones? There's not enough Welsh on this. So we've been around. We did a quick study of who is Welsh. Shah is a quarter Welsh. Is that right, Shah? And you live in Swansea, which is pretty Welsh.
I do. That is a bit Welsh, isn't it?
Kip, quarter Welsh. Mm-hmm. Leah is called Morgan. That's pretty Welsh. Mm-hmm. Kate is from Australia, where there's a lot of sheep. New South Wales. From Wales. And Faz is from a country that suffered. Well, I don't know whether Faz. Do you identify as being from India, or are you? How do you describe yourself?
Hi, I'm Faz. Lovely to meet you. This isn't going to help.
Faz has links with a country that was massively brutalized by the English. How's that? Now, whoever's currently punching their microphone, can you stop it? Thanks.
Sorry,
and just to add a bit more Wales, I found in my fridge Welsh beer. I found it's a Club. Stop hitting the microphone. It's a Club Tropica beer, but unfortunately, it's non-alcoholic. So I'll be drinking non-alcoholic Welsh beer throughout the show. This ASMR.
Ooh,
lovely,
ploppy.
Leah, you're a YouTube star. Have you done any ASMR?
I have not. As you know, my microphone situation is questionable.
Those of you who are massive fans will be thinking, where's Sarah Jones? There's 2 things Sarah Jones brings. Number 1, Wales. Number 2, just drinking far too much during the show. So I've got my alcohol-free Welsh beer, and I'm just going to pour some whiskey into it.
What does that taste
This combination is what I call the diet Boilermaker. We all know the classic cocktail of Boilermaker, whiskey and beer. This is the diet Boilermaker. All the taste of a Boilermaker, only half the alcohol.
Very
it's actually really nice. My God, it's phenomenal. I'm in heaven.
No. I don't like beer or whiskey,
so you won't like it probably. Although, like, you don't like raw potatoes and you don't like drinking vegetable oil, but you'll eat chips.
Fair point, well made.
Hello out there, lovely people. This is a free show, which is very exciting, basically because someone else is paying all of these acts so that you, the wonderful ticket buyers, normally don't have to. Kip is pointing. Kip's not paying out of her own pocket. She's paying out of some very complicated grant money that's been moved from place to place to place to place and mixed and diluted so many times it would be impossible to say who the funder is. Because that's what happens with big projects. But we do know that the funder wants you to go and spend the rest of the next 2 days looking at Rise of the Resistance, wonderful festival. You can find all the events online at the website Rise of the... No, it isn't. That's not the website. The website is No So Co Me Out. We all remember this from the song. No, a deer, a female deer. So the next syllable. Co, the one that comes in third. Me, the one that is singing. Al, another guy who's not singing. .online. That's where you can find all the other events. We'll be back. Me and Faz are back with Kip on Saturday night, doing some more nonsense. Faz hasn't said yes yet, but he has now. So that'll be very exciting. We'll find out who everybody is in a minute. We'll start properly like we always start. Wait, we could do this to start, couldn't we? We won't do this, but just...
What's happening?
No one knows.
I've only got 2 bits of music on my little box, and the other one's this. So, like, there's 2 different moods we can go for with the show. It's the kind of dark, menacing sci-fi, or all dance music made between 1984 and now. Musicologists are like, that was the Amen break. It was the Amen break. Listen out for other extremely famous samples as we go through the show. So if you are over on YouTube and you want to identify what this scream is, do let us know in the YouTube chat. And if you say something in the YouTube chat, then I can bring it over onto the screen and show it to all of our wonderful, wonderful performers. And especially if you've got strong opinions on bacteria, maybe you are a bacterium and you're quite sick of the grinding down that is the human empire puts upon you, and you want to join the Rebel Alliance / Resistance. It's really weird that we're against the Resistance here, making us technically the baddies, I think. Yes, I mean, I won't go into the details, but we all know 20th century history. Being in La Resistance is usually considered good. So, lovely viewers, we'll start in about a minute when I sober up enough to remember what the first question was, and then we'll find out who everybody is. But let's just, for a moment, let's talk to our guests about their backdrops. Let's go straight to Faz. Faz, do you own that sofa?
This is my parents' sofa. So,
parents' sofa.
Indeed.
Well, no, it makes sense for it to be a parent's sofa. I bet it's luxurious and deep and soft.
It is.
Is it hard to get out of?
I've never tried.
Okay, good. You've just been there for the whole of lockdown. As soon as it was like you got to stay with your parents to look after them, you're like, good.
Yeah,
You will bring me bowls of Cocoa Pops. Good, right. We discovered a lot about that. Let's fly over to Leah. Leah, is the bunting for the show, or do you always have bunting on what would appear to be your bed?
I've always got bunting to remind myself that life is a party.
Oh.
Thanks. I've got sashes as well to really go all out.
Ray of
Let's have a read. One says Ray of Sunshine. What's the one behind your head?
It says varsity competitor because I did not place.
Oh, what's the black one? Intermediate competitor.
Oh, intermediate.
That's pretty good. Yeah, you placed in the middle. It doesn't say bottom competitor.
You're right, actually. It looks more impressive than it was.
And what were these competing in?
I was in Pole Fitness Society. So I went to the Pole Fitness Varsity, which we ran ourselves because we weren't allowed to compete in the real varsity. And I didn't place.
Disgrace. The discrimination.
I know.
Against. It's just a more financially viable form of fitness than many of the others.
It's so true.
Lots of other ways of keeping fit you have to pay for. If you do pole well enough, people will pay you.
It is true.
Let's fly over to Shah.
Hello.
Shah, so Leah's decided to sit on her bed and you've decided to sit next to your bed. Why did you decide this?
I felt that if I sat in front of it, I might pass it off as a sofa, which I've obviously failed in doing. Also,
sofas tend not to have pillows right on the very top.
I thought that maybe
what would appear to be a teddy bear.
It's Mr. No Face.
Right,
yeah.
get Mr. No Face. Let's see Mr. No Face. Let's show Mr. No Face to the world. Whoa. Amazing. Amazing. I love that that's what you choose to have in your bed.
Very lovely.
I suppose it's look at that or look at your partner, and that is cuter and has more personality. Marvelous. Good. I think I've picked on enough people, have I? I'm looking at Kate and Kip's background to see if there's anything I want to pick on. No, I'm all right. I can see No Face on Charlotte's back. We did that. We got them out. I know there's a slight delay. So Emily said that just before we did all that bit, but it only appeared for me slightly after. Wonderful. Right. Hello, friends. We should start. So we'll start properly. I'll go off stage into the wings. I'll introduce the show. Well, I won't. The theatre will introduce the show, and then we'll kick off. So I'll just go off to the wings. Good evening, lovely people. Welcome to your own houses. Would you please clap, cheer, and welcome to the stage your host, Steve Cross. Hello. Hello, everybody. Camera focusing on me instead of all the junk in the background. Welcome to Never Explain, the Rise of the Resistance. The first episode of the Rise of the Resistance Festival, running on a screen near you all Friday and all Saturday. I think I'm also doing the last thing, which is quite exciting. I'm the bread in the delicious sandwich. And that's why they call me sourdough. We've got a lovely show for you today. I've got two incredible teams. I've got one wonderful scorer. I've got one seat that's really uncomfortable, so I'll just change my position. I've got one can of alcohol-free beer with not alcohol-free whiskey poured into it. We're ready, I think. To show you, if you've never listened to this game before or watched it, this is how it works. I ask our wonderful teams questions. They give wonderful answers. And every time they say something that is funny enough that a normal human would laugh, I, of course, not a normal human. I am both a father of two toddlers and therefore have no joy left, and a monster and therefore feel no emotions anyway. But if a normal human would laugh, you get this. And that means a point. And those points today, they're being collated by a very special guest scorer. One of the rules of our scorers is they all have to be massively, massively overqualified for just counting up to about 80. Leah, hello. Who are you? What are your science and engineering and comedy credentials? And what do you do for a living?
Hey, my name's Leah. I am a project engineer at the UK's National Fusion Research Laboratory. So I get to work on like big, ridiculous machines, and it's excellent. And I also have my own YouTube channel where I guess I do a form of comedy. Yes, a form of comedy. That's really selling it, isn't it? It's Thank you.
Leah Love. Is this right? Is that what it's called?
It is. It's grammatically incorrect.
Yeah, but that's one of the things we like about it, because either it's Leah Loves Science, which is wrong, or it's Leah Loves, and then a new thing you've invented called Kienche.
Kienche.
Leah loves Kienche. Yeah, that's part of the joy of it. So Leah will be here counting. Leah, have you got any advice for our teams before we start?
I would say come up with an excellent name, but as you can see, both teams already have excellent names. So
I think the meaning of the word excellent is a lot lower in the fusion industry than it is anywhere else. Let's go and meet our teams. Let's start with Team Doctors. There's a lot of misspelling going on in honor of Leah's YouTube channel. Kate, hello, you're on Team Doctors. Who are you? What are your science and comedy credentials?
My name is Kate Hunter. Almost forgot for a minute there. I trained as an actor before I moved into SciComm, and that really put the poor into poor life choices. But don't worry too much about me. I get to do a whole lot of eclectic things, basically communicating everything from science to art. This week, I've been a writer, an underwear model, and now a comedian. So I guess I'm really jack of all trades, master of fun. Dance break. But anyway, the real reason I'm qualified to be here is because I am a paranoid hypochondriac whose number one fear in life is golden staphylococcus, which I first in a year 8 science textbook. And it stirred up a fear that has stayed with me forever. I actually used to get my little brother to go through my science textbooks at the beginning of the year, and he would put sticky notes over all the pictures that he thought would be too confronting for me. Anyway, he's gone on to become a doctor, and well, I did get my A-level equivalent in biology at the very least. But actually, so it's great that he's a doctor, works really well for me as a hypochondriac. The other day we were having a chat and I said to him, do you still find stuff really gross? And he just looked at me and he said, feet. Nothing else but feet. Just one word, feet. And the thing is, he's working in the urology department at the moment. So I said to him, what would you rather, touch a dirty penis or a clean foot? And he still said he'd rather touch the dirty penis, which finally answered my lifelong question. Foot fetishes don't seem to be hereditary.
Amazing. I mean, he didn't specify which, did he? I mean, his own, presumably, it's quite fun to touch it every now and then.
Yeah, I don't want to
People very rarely score points during their introductions. They're not supposed to, but Kate did there, partly for just being the first person to name a bacterium. I thought that was very, very good. Let's fly over to Kip Heath, who could name 1,000 bacteria, but won't get any points for any of them because it was only the first person who names one who gets a point. Kip, hello. What are your science and comedy, and more importantly, microbiology and antimicrobial resistance credentials?
I have none of those, so that's not great stuff. So my name is Kip, and I am incapable of saying no to work. So I currently have 6 paid jobs, 3 volunteer jobs, and I am a full-time student, technically, at UCL. The possibly daftest decision I made was to specialise in virology, as I have learnt multitudes of times during this pandemic that rather than study for 10 years and get 3 degrees in the subject, I would have been better off just watching a handful of YouTube videos and discovering that viruses are just a hoax.
Well, I mean, virology is just putting a stick further in your nose than you want to go, isn't it? That's the main skill as far as I think we've discovered. Fantastic. The good news is next year, apparently, we're due for super TB. So virologists will be useless. It'll be all bacterial people next year. Sorry, Kate, that was a joke. It's not real. Let's fly over to visit our other team, Team Anuz, and we're going to go to Faz Alam first of all. So, Faz, you're on a show with a pole dancer and an underwear model. How are you feeling?
Intimidated. I mean, I did not expect this morning. Honestly, you do a show on the bacteria. We're going to talk about science. And what
are your science and comedy credentials, Faz?
PhD in microbiology, and I've
yes, on brand. Just a point for Faz for intellectually justifying his team. Look what we've got.
Yeah,
got a virologist, got a microbiologist, got a scared person. We're doing great.
Yeah,
Faz, anything else you want to tell us?
Yeah, I don't think there's a monopoly on being scared in this place. I mean, I feel quite scared too. I mean, we've got tough competition. Also, I also have my own YouTube channel that isn't comedy based, but I'll plug it in the comments at some point. But yeah,
what's it called?
Oh, YouTube Microbiology Journal Club. It's in partnership with Biotech Without Borders, where it's about disseminating microbiology knowledge to people.
Sorry, everything you just said has bored me so much. I'm not going to type that up as a banner.
No,
here's Leah's YouTube channel again. Why not go and watch that one instead of whatever Faz just said?
Yeah,
brilliant. Let's go and find out about Faz's teammates. Charlotte, hello. What are your science, medicine, antibiotics, microbiology, and comedy credentials?
Hello, everyone. I am Charlotte Mykura. I used to do the genetics and the microbiology in London, but then I packed up and moved to Swansea for a better life. I'm now a medical student.
You mean past your PhD, don't you?
Yes, I did the PhD.
It's already packed up in the normal sense. Graduating is not.
I mean, I didn't pack the thesis. I don't know where that is. It could be anywhere. I might have chucked it out. Yeah, so I did the PhD and moved to Swansea. Now I'm a medical student and I don't own a Hoover or a tea towel or a wooden spoon. But I do like to do the comedy. So if you're at Green Man or Norwich Festivals this year or anywhere on the internet, come and say hello.
Are you at Green Man?
Yeah.
They asked me and I said, yeah. And then they asked me if I might be available and I said, yeah. And then they just never got back to me.
Hassle them.
No, fuck Greenland. That's what I'm saying. Congratulations. A point for Shah for not owning a tea towel or a wooden spoon. Both two well-known places that nasty bacteria can grow if they're not looked after properly. Good that you keep those potential biofilm sources out of your house at all costs. Much better to have a metal spoon and dry yourself with a Hoover. I don't know. You don't have a Hoover.
I don't have a Hoover.
Let's
Just
crack
jump
on
up
with
and
the
down.
game. Like, we're well into this, and all we've done is talk about who we are, thus making it like 90% of podcasts. But no, we're going to move on, and we're going to actually do a proper, like, a game where we talk and we have questions. And so I'm going to ask our first question. Sorry, it's very fizzy, alcohol-free beer. They put extra bubbles in to make up for the lack of booze. Round one, here we go. Our first question. Oh, no! All antibiotics have become useless, and the world is on the edge of disaster. How will your special skills help us? And I'm going to go to the obvious answer first of all, and we're going to hear from Kip Heath.
Disasters don't really faze me. At this point in my life, not only should my middle name be Disaster, but the first and last names as well, because my life is just one long string of them. My friends are, at this point, used to my long-term game to try and destroy myself physically. Have sat through meetings with me pouring blood down the side of anything that's available. And are used to text messages that start with, "If my finger's gone black, should I get this seen by a medical professional?"
2 points because I got that text message.
So, to be honest, my biggest skill is that I am indifferent or resistant, if you will, to the concept of disasters. And I would probably die off very quickly from some kind of wound infection.
So the skill that you're going to use to help us will be that you just die fast. So that's one less potential vector for whatever it is that's going to... I mean, that's an interesting way to look at it, isn't it? Not quite sacrificing yourself for the cause, but just sacrificing yourself. Let's go over to the other team and see if we can get something a bit more sensible. We're going to get some more hard microbiology. So we're going to go to Faz Alam. Faz, hello. Faz of the YouTube Nerd Talking, Reading Bullshit Club, or whatever it was. Faz, how is your special skills going to help us now that all antibiotics have become useless?
Well, I'm going to use my skills. I found a much cheaper solution to solve all antibiotic resistant bacteria. It's something that I discovered during my PhD. And if you don't trust me, I cut my own hair. That means I'm willing to face the consequences of my bad decisions. So, what is this cheaper solution? Well, you might hear people talking about seaweed extract and pomegranate juice killing bacteria in a petri dish. Pshaw, I say. I discovered another way to kill bacteria in a petri dish that's far less effective than those treatments. It turns out you can kill off an entire petri dish full of bacteria by leaving them in an incubator for a whole fucking year and forgetting about them. Tried and tested on a harmless laboratory strain of E. coli. All we need to do is ignore the bacteria and they'll eventually die. It's cheap, and the best part is you're doing the hard work already.
I'm slightly like... Because that was a 50-50 shot, wasn't it? Between them all dying and them evolving essentially into a super killing machine. You open the door of the incubator and a velociraptor climbs out that they've evolved into. Like, that's some gutsy stuff, Faz. Gutsy,
I'm a gambler
gutsy science.
and forgetful, but mostly, yeah.
Phenomenal. Let's fly over to Britain's the most scared person. She was so scared that she had to leave Australia, which is the right thing to do if you're scared, because Australia is just like a giant death machine where you're chased into the baking sun by the numerous poisonous animals and then you dehydrate and die. Kate, tell me, all antibiotics have become useless and the world is on the edge of disaster. How will your special skills help us? Please be better than the last two.
Well,
no, I mean, because the human race is dead if we've got I will die and I will put a petri dish in an incubator. Kate.
Well, hope I'm going to help you out, because the thing I'm really good about is freaking out about illnesses. And I'm so good at it, I actually freak out about other people having illnesses as well. I guess it's spreading. But it does make me really popular in comedy clubs because it means that I get everything. Hey. Now... the thing is that I actually do or did once have some other skills, you see, but I've been studying for my Life in the UK citizenship test, and I have to know everything from when the channel closed over to Brexit, and that was a lot of things to learn, so it pushed out anything else I might have ever once known. So it can't really help you with bacteria, but if you'd like to know the year that the Battle of Agincourt took place, I can help you out. 1415. And that got me thinking, and talking about illnesses got me Googling, of course, Dr. Google. And apparently one of the most concerning drug resistant things we need to be worried about is gonorrhea. And so then I was thinking about Agincourt, I was thinking about gonorrhea, and I was thinking about how much I love Shakespeare. So I went and thought, maybe I can find solace and help everyone survive in the great words of the poet and playwright William Shakespeare. So I'm going to read you a little bit from Henry V. And don't worry, I'm going to translate it for everyone so you don't need to feel too scared. Does that come up the right way around?
Yes.
Brilliant. So, once more unto the breach, dear friends, once more, or close up the wall of our English dead. In peace, there's nothing so becomes a man as modesty and humility. When the blast of war blow in our ears, then imitate the action of the tiger, stiffen the sinews, summon up the blood, and disguise fair nature with a hard-favored rage. So there we go. I think that probably actually would have just inspired gonorrhea to really just get right in there and destroy the lot of us. So I'm sorry for giving you all drug-resistant gonorrhea, but at least you know where it's coming from now, emotionally.
And can we just have an extra point there for Kate's spelling? So creative. My favourite was definitely... That was a phenomenal piece of work, Jack. Right, let's get rid of all this nonsense. Right, who have we got to hear from this round? Oh, we've got a medical. Well, she's nearly a medical doctor. Let's fly over to Charlotte Mykura. Charlotte,
hello.
How are you? How are your special skills going to save us all?
Oh, wow. I mean, where do I even start? As a microbiologist, I had three main jobs, looking at cells, thinking about antibiotics, and hating academia. And I really feel like it's the third of these three traits that really give me a special edge when the world is collapsing. Not only did hating academia give me like a stronger sense of self, but it also taught me how to produce copious amounts of saliva. When the end of the world comes, we'll need to sort of chew immense amounts. Like our chewing capacity to eat all of that grain, first of all, to survive, and also fungus, because obviously fungi produce the antibiotics that we might need, is going to require a huge amount of fungus, a huge amount of saliva and fungus. And all you normal saliva-producing ponies listening will be living a life of strife. You'll die within a month. I, however, with my many, many years of eating stale food from the corners of offices in microbiology labs, will have the upper hand. An interesting fun fact that I learned recently is that kissing actually evolved from chewing up food and then passing it from your mouth to another person's mouth. And I would be absolutely excellent at that, like phenomenal. My other relevant skills that I would like to advertise today include reverse peristalsis. This is when your food tube squeezes the wrong way. Many birds do it. Many birds do it to feed their young, and with my excellent regurgitatory skills, I will masticate the grain and the fungus and then feed the world. And to anyone who's listening, who's currently doing a PhD or a postdoc, remember, where there's a will, there's an exit route from academia. She'll never quit, they said. She's too passionate, they said. I quacked.
Incredible. That was absolutely wonderful answer. Let's just get the correct answer from Emily Harford. Just come back here, Arrow. It is just wash your hands. That would solve the whole problem. Don't need antibiotics if you're not dirty people to start with. Fantastic. That's the end of round one. Is it the end of round one? Yeah, we've heard from everybody. Let's fly over to Wales. And then remember, she's not Welsh. She's just called Morgan. And fly back to, I don't know, Derby? Oxford?
I'm in Oxfordshire, but I'm embarrassed about it.
Okay, so we'll fly back to Derby.
Thanks.
She didn't say she was embarrassed about that, strangely. And we'll find out from Leah. Leah, how's them numbers looking?
We have Team Doctors on 25, Doctors with a K.
Big score.
And Team Anus on 20. Is that on the screen? Yes.
Phenomenal.
Well done.
Phenomenal.
Fair game.
Some messages we get on YouTube, I'm just going to share to the screen because I don't really understand them, but I know it's kind of Gen Z chat. And the Gen Z people will be like, I know exactly what that means. And I'm trying to pretend that I know and I can talk to the cool Gen Z people. But of course, my job as Generation X is to sit in the corner quietly drinking with one raised eyebrow. And then when anyone asks me, say, that's all shit anyway, mate. Let's move on to round two. Round two is our great lists of science round, where I give you the title of a PowerPoint slide and you tell me bullet points that would be on that slide. Let's kick straight in with things we don't want to hear the microbiologists say.
It seems that this bacteria is resistant to all my sexual advances.
Should we really
Quick
be in
pause.
the same room with this?
Can I just pause 1 second? Faz, you've got to shag a bacteria. Which one would you shag?
Oh, that's Shagella.
Woo!
He went for a pun. Kip, you were mid-answer.
Should we really be in the same room with this?
That looks big.
One of the bats has escaped again.
Where do you live? We need to name this new COVID variant.
Derby.
I think I need a new pair of gloves.
I remember the last time we saw that. Oh, gosh, that funeral had good cake.
I accidentally inhaled this homogenized bat juice.
Your STD test came back as a hat trick.
Oh no, where's my butt scratcher?
If you listen closely...
Is that what they refer to junior medical students as? Is this like an Eton thing that doctors then get into? Sorry. Faz, you were doing one. I interrupted. I feel bad.
If you listen closely to this fungal infection, it's a song thrush.
Well, that's your last pun in this round, Faz Alam.
Damn it! I'm dead.
Right, let's move on to our second slide. Our second slide is this, and I know Charlotte's going to have a lot of real-world answers for this.
Oh, lots. They're all real.
Things I wish I hadn't licked.
The pus from my BCG injection site.
Is that real?
That's real.
Extra point.
Chocolate agar before they told me it was made of horse blood.
Those discarded chips I saw at Caterham train station. Caterham. They were frozen onto the ground.
They say... Sorry.
I was just going to say, the cow eye that we were dissecting in biology class.
Is that a real one?
It wasn't me, it was my friend.
Okay.
This was meant to be like hypothetical.
I mean, okay. You guys all lick so much stuff. I mean...
Hypotheticals are all right, Faz. They'll help calm my stomach. I've got a lot of fizzy Welsh beer in there.
To be fair, they do say that if you lick it, you can keep it. And now I'm banned from home base. I really needed that fertilizer.
The stuffed camel I wanted to buy in Camden.
Discarded face mask from the middle of the pavement.
The dirty fork that gave me glandular fever.
Is that a real one?
That's legit. That's why my spleen exploded. I really regret licking that fork. That's genuine regret.
Oh, Charlotte, right, you are. So in sports terms, you're Rudy Gobert, who at the beginning of COVID did this press conference where he was like, COVID's not real. COVID's a load of shit. Look, then he licked all the microphones and then he got COVID and most of his team got COVID.
Yeah, licking other people's like saliva.
Yeah.
My ex's cold sore.
I literally had that.
Yeah, but you had it as a hypothetical. You had it as a fetish.
I thought it was sexy.
The nice thing is, there's real epidemiologists watching this going, oh, that's how it spreads. Yeah. Okay, right.
The dog I met on a night out.
The Queen's head, it was on a stand.
I thought you meant the pub for a minute there.
My own nipple discharge.
Right, I'm going to let Shah have one more and then we'll go to the next thing because this is...
The smelly
Shah,
corner.
have you got any more?
Yeah. The smelly corner of the duvet. You know where it's been.
Right, I'm going to stop this because it's going to, it's a bit much. I'll give it one of these. And that's the best noise I've got for that one. Let's move on to the third one. Friends, the place, I'm worried Shah's going to do all the same ones. The place I discovered a new antibiotic.
The pus from my BCG injection site. I'm sorry.
The back of Faz's incubator.
Because of velociraptor, you have to get past to get to it.
Behind the sofa is a normal place for them to be.
Was it a sofa or was it a bed that you hope looked like a sofa?
Oh, I can only dream of owning a sofa.
Leah, that point's for me.
Just put the bacteria on universal credit and see how long they can survive then.
In my overpriced Zone 2 Central London flats bathroom, but the landlord still insists there isn't a mold problem. However, the upside, I can now get a research grant to help pay for the rent.
The good news is if there's a mold problem, there's not a bacteria problem because it's killing it all. It's like when you see rats, you know you haven't got mice.
I've not got rats then. Does it work the other way around? I've got mice, basically.
Yeah, if you had rats, they'd kill and eat all the mice.
I like them both. The communal bottom flannel.
Did you also lick it? No, don't.
Oh no.
Sometimes you have to lick things to work out what they are. It's the only way.
I discovered a new antibiotic with my lab. Such a good doggy. Who's a good doggy?
Right. I can't deal with any more Shah, so this will be playing the part of me for the remainder of the episode.
Was that ding also for you?
No, that was for Faz for his answer.
Surprisingly, not the soil.
Between the cushions of a sofa?
Somewhere in the 1,000 unread emails in my inbox.
In the crease of Michael Gove's elbow.
Nothing can survive there.
Right, I'm just going to stop that because, of everything else, that's the one that's really pushed me over the edge of disgust. Just not even the elbow, just Gove himself.
Sorry, I shouldn't have brought it up.
No, you're right to. We've got to look for comedy in all the most unlikely places. Here's the point you got. But that's all the points anyone's getting in this round now because I need to lie down and not in a sexy way. I just need to lie down. We've got some interesting ones. I was going to lick the air ambulance. The pilot was still there. I found some about some things. I was talking to a paramedic and they said all the people on the air ambulance, just absolute show-off pricks. That's the thing you need to know. If you ever see the air ambulance in London, probably doesn't have to be there. The ambulance was there already and could have got you to hospital quicker. But Captain Flashheart off of World War One has landed to be like, yeah, ambulance repair. Yeah, we already got them to hospital, mate. Bring them back.
One day we'll have stretch limousine ambulances, and they'll be awful.
Yeah. That's that. I mean, arguably, have you been in an ambulance? It's great. It's like a limo, but they've got morphine.
I'll be honest, at the time, I didn't really appreciate it. I was a bit busy not being happy.
Yeah. I was a bit internal bleeding-y.
Friends,
next time
you need
I will
something...
appreciate it more.
What we've got to discover is what the lower boundary is for a trip in an ambulance, right? What's the minimum acceptable damage to get an ambulance journey so you can enjoy it? So we've got to wait till we're not having to wear masks. That's gone because you want to be able to enjoy it. Like, what is do you think lose a little finger?
Oh, no.
Could you ambulance that?
It's quite permanent.
Jar, you're a doctor. You know about provision of NHS services.
I mean, there's lots of pretty bad things that can happen before you get an ambulance. So I don't.
Yeah, right. Let's stop exploring this because it feels like a dark hole. Instead, let's go over to it's just Uber with an inch of blood in the bottom of it by the time you get there.
Just drag yourself to the hospital with one arm.
Let's do anything we can to stop me and Charlotte talking before it gets even worse by flying over to the intermediate competitor herself, the ray of sunshine. If that isn't a consolation prize for not being very good at pole fitness, I don't know what is. Leah, you're basically a Care Bear. Leah, tell us, first of all, how are you feeling after Charlotte's performance in that round?
Great. I'm a little overwhelmed by all of the stories and all of the dings, but I'm having a good time.
And how are the numbers looking? Or was that you saying, give me more fucking time?
No, I counted them in advance.
She's got the numbers.
We have Team Doctors on 37, Team Anus on 51, and 51. Steve on 1.
On 1, yes! And let's not forget, you might think I'm in last place, but the rest of the human race is on 0. So actually, I'm doing all right. Let's crack on to round 3. In round 3, your question is this. Since we're doing this as part of the Rise of the Resistance Festival, all Friday and Saturday on a screen near you, go to nosocomeout.online. I don't know how to pronounce it. No-suko. There isn't a way.
It looks like it's words.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say social. No,
yeah, so
social.
I said no so economical for a long time, and a lot of people laughed at me. I think it's nosocomial.
Well, nosocomial, right? Yeah, good. It's a medical word. You would know. No. Go to there, find out about the rest of the Rise of the Resistance. But my question for all of our players is, what are you resistant to? And how did you gain this resistance? And we're going to start. Just how do I work this so we don't hear Shah for ages? We go to, so that's that team. We go to Kate. Kate, tell me. What are you resistant to? How did you gain this incredible skill?
Well, the first thing I thought that I was resistant to is deadlines, because I'm late for everything. In fact, I would be late to my own funeral, which would actually be quite helpful back in round 1 when we were worried about everything antibiotic resistant getting even stronger. And that joke is so late that it's 2 rounds behind. But fortunately, I'm also resistant to something else. I am resistant to catcalls. I've built up a tolerance to these over the years. But I've got to say to you, the other day, Tuesday evening, I went for a lovely stroll. I thought I'd enjoy the sun setting and the last little bit of the warmth for the day. And I thought I'd crack out some summer clothes, so maybe a little bit more skin on show, but that was just for the sweat, not to show off or anything. And then out of nowhere, I just heard somebody shout, "Hey, pussy." They just said, "Pussy, pussy, pussy. Come home now, you little fluffy pussy. Look, I knew I should have put a bell on you so I could have heard when you were coming." And I just thought, that's too far. That is way too far for me. That is the cat's whisker and the final straw on the cat calling, I must say. That's me. That's my resistance.
It's good. Kate's still allowed puns, Faz. I mean, cat calling's often accidental. I've got a 2-year-old daughter, and she was sitting in our front yard right next to the wall, so she was invisible from the street. And like, I call her all sorts of names, and one of the names I call her is like lady. So I walked out the house, and I said very loudly and clearly, "Do you want a drink, lady?" What I didn't realize was there were 2 women in their 20s walking along the street, both about 10 feet away from my front gate. And they couldn't see her because she's tucked behind the wall. So they both really accelerated as they went away. It's sometimes accidental, you know? Yeah. Other times, obviously, it's not, and it's horrific and wrong. And somewhere they're being like, this guy came out of his house. He was like, "You want a drink, lady?" And what's worse, the way he speaks, because I was doing like baby talk voice, or how creepy he is, or his stupid face. Those are the 3 things that could have been worse. Right. That was a wonderful answer, Kate. Now I've got to keep working this out so we don't hear from Shah for ages. Faz! You're on Shah's team, aren't you? Faz, tell me, what are you resistant to, and how did you gain this incredible resistance?
Well, let me tell you, it's been a long time since I've seen my friends in person. I look forward to standing next to them while not talking to them because the music is too damn loud. Yes, that's right, I'm resistant to clubbing. Think about it. Dancing, exercise for fun. Ugh. But hey, there's always Mr. Brightside. There's always Mr. Brightside. Looking forward to partying all night? I say partying, but really just standing around bored and drinking, or waiting to get drink and be bored. And finally, there is a chance to be groped by any sweaty dude of my choice, except I don't get a choice in the matter. Clubbing, no.
Just have another point. It's bullshit. The best thing that any government ever did was allow pubs to open past 11, so you didn't have to go to a fucking shitty club and just waste, like, oh.
Preach.
I used to spend, when I was on nightclubs, just spend my time on the stairs talking to my friends most of the night with bouncers going, "You can't stand here, move." And we'd move, and then we'd go back 30 seconds later. Because it was the only place where you couldn't hear fucking Mr. Brightside.
I literally took up smoking to get out of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only place we can talk to people.
You have to chain smoke, don't you? It's the only thing you can do.
Medical advice there from Dr. Charlotte.
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
The more you know, kids.
No,
That's
smoking.
just a point to not Shah's team. That's a point to Kate and Kip's team for not encouraging smoking at any point during the show. Although, to be honest, I figure Shah should smoke. Just hopefully it would kill some of the stuff that's already in her mouth. Like, you want a hot, like, essentially hot bleach if we can get it, but we'll take smoke just to try and clear out all of the other. I licked a fork and I lost my spleen. It's one of the best stories I've ever heard.
Oh, I do have quite a lot of pus on my tonsils.
No! That's another point to Kate and Kip's team for not having Charlotte on it. But this is why we got you on, Charlotte. I thought you're going to have more like infection stories than anybody because you live your life on the edge. Were you infected with toxoplasma first, and since then you've done all this risk-taking behavior?
Maybe. I mean, you'd never know. I should get a CT scan of my brain so I can look for cysts. Yeah, I mean, I've got cats and we don't really wash up their poo and food properly. So I'm leaving next to the draining board and stuff. So I've probably had it or got it.
Leah, point for me for the diagnosis there. Do you know, I'm not even a psychologist, but I knew that.
Apparently it's very common in France.
The brain science. Did you go on holiday there or something? And that's why it's common there now. Yeah, Shah just smeared her poo all over the whole country. Right, let's stop picking on Charlotte Mykura, Steve. She's got bigger problems than you. She lives in Swansea. Let's go over to Kip Heath, Swansea, where Tiger is up market. Let's go to Kip Heath. Kip, tell me, whatever the question was, what are you resistant to? And how did you gain this incredible resistance?
So I am fairly resistant to disease, which is convenient because I am horrifically accident prone and will probably catch a Darwin Award at some point in my life. My immune system is fabulous. It hates everything. Most of the food I eat, my own lungs, but conveniently also most pathogens. So a few years ago, I was working out in Sierra Leone, and I am normally what most people would call anally retentive and a huge stickler for the rules. But if I go off track, I like to go complete 180 and go right out there. So a friend and I who were there paid a driver $100 US, which is a lot of money in Sierra Leone, to drive us to Freetown and show us the sights, but also not to tell anyone at Public Health England, because this was a really, really big no-no. And he showed us all the amazing tourist attractions of Freetown, including the tree and his aunt's fabric store, and a hotel his friend was building. But more specifically, he took us to a hospital which had an active Ebola outbreak, and a slum which also had an active Ebola outbreak. And I discovered as part of a survivor study when I got home that I was resistant to Ebola, and I have lovely shiny Ebola antibodies. So I had Ebola and didn't even know it.
Then maybe you shouldn't be living here!
It's just what I wanted to say to the person who was in the slum. I mean, that's pretty good, isn't it? What are you resistant to? Ebola? How? Because I've fucking had it. Amazing. Some people are like, well, I'm feeling quite good. I've had one COVID vaccine. I'm so literally immune to Ebola. That's basically a superpower. That was a phenomenal answer. But now, we're going to go to the person who's exposed themselves in every sense of the word more than any of us. Assuming Leah's pole fitness is like the well-behaved kind. It's the well-behaved kind, yeah. So Charlotte, the person who's exposed themselves more than anybody else, definitely in this and possibly in the world. Charlotte, what are you resistant to, and how did you gain this resistance?
Well, I think I'm well known in the community for my resistance to giving a shit about bodily fluids. First of all, everyone in the room, just raise your hand if you've ever spilt piss with chunks of prostate in it down your legs and into your socks, then continue to work in it for 7 hours, and then gone home for 3 hours, and then had a foot massage over the top of said, prostate-y, pissy socks by your partner. I can't see you, but maybe you're raising your hands as well, and I hope you are, because let's be open about it. If you've got phlegm, I want to know about it. If you've got diarrhea, tell me the colour. I love it. On the weaker side of things, probably slightly out of character with me, I really can't deal with phlegm once it's outside the human body. It will literally make me faint. And if you're wondering, yes, it has been a difficult year. But another thing that there's way too much of Wales in that pisses me off, that I have resistance to, that should be annihilated, and that's patience. And just to clarify, that's patience as in the capacity that have the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, okay? I think I developed resistance to patience when growing up in London, and then really honed it in when I moved to Wales. Everyone in Wales is so calm and polite. Like, if you're in Tesco's and they like nudge you by accident, they stop, turn to you, and apologise. I mean, what's going on? There's conversation everywhere. I'm used to London, where we stand in silence, unified by a hatred for each other, and rush about just to get somewhere else. Since when was patience a virtue? I love being resistant to it. My New Year's resolution this year, I had 3 of them, were to learn to play the piano, lose a bit of weight, and to be more impatient. And my God, I think I've managed it.
Amazing. How's the piano coming along?
So I've got a dismantled piano at a property in London. I haven't seen it. But I mean, that's a start. It's,
so your version of learning to play the piano is to buy the remains of a piano on eBay and not even get it to your house.
Yeah, that's the status so far. It's been a year and a half, and I'm nearly there.
A point for that. That's how I tangle problems. What's the word? Tackle problems. That's it. Like, yeah, there's a pile of leads and bits of equipment around me that I'm supposed to have done something with over the past year. Have I? Fuck. There's an entire drum kit in this cupboard that I bought at the beginning of lockdown. I was like, I'm going to learn to play the drums. No, because it's easy to buy drums, but it's hard to learn them. And so I just put them away. And that way no one can see them and go, do you play? And me go, no, but I do own these drums. And they go, why? You can't play them. Well, I was going to learn. No, just some things in life, it's better not to finish. The things that are worth finishing will sometimes find a way for you to finish them. Yeah.
Wow.
Deep.
Powerful.
Yeah, that's my version of, you know, these people who believe that if you wish for something hard enough, it'll happen to you. I'm much more arrogant. The thing has to wish hard enough for me to bother doing it.
Yeah, the drums
I'm more
must
powerful
try.
than the universe. Yeah. If the drums had tried harder, I would give a shit.
They're just
But
sitting there
they've
not trying.
They've got, they should have got to pull their socks up and beg, and then maybe
Yeah.
I'll let them. Right, let's go and find out the scores. We'll fly over to Oxfordshire, but she's embarrassed about it. We don't know where in Oxfordshire, Leah, because some bits of Oxfordshire are quite cool. Which bit of Oxfordshire do you live in?
Abingdon.
Are you allowed to tell us?
Oh,
Abingdon.
Abingdon.
That's quite upmarket, isn't it?
Yeah, expensive.
Does it have a Waitrose?
It does. It does. I went in the other day to get a sandwich from Waitrose, and I felt like I was really rich. It was magical.
You are really rich. You live near a Waitrose.
Mm.
My nearest supermarket is a Morrison's.
I love Morrison's.
There are no waitresses in Wales. There's no Waitrose.
That's
There's
a point for Wales.
Wait, gotta add it to my list.
I can't believe that Leah is from Derby. I'll summarise Derby. And she's like, now I live in a lovely town in Oxfordshire with a Waitrose. I'm embarrassed. And if you don't want to live in a nice bit of Oxfordshire,
Then maybe you shouldn't be living here!
I got it in context. I've had that sample on here for ages. I got it in context. I'm so happy with myself. Point for me. Right, let's find out what the scores are after this. I've just been giving myself points at random just to make Leah's job more difficult. Leah, tell me, how's them? Yeah, I know, because you've got to, like, you do it properly. You've got to rub them all out and do them again. How's them numbers looking, Morgs? Your new nickname,
Team Morgs. I love it. No one's ever called me Morgs. We have Team Doctors on 60 and Team Anus. Wait, I already forgot it. On 73. Whoa!
I mean,
we also have
like
Steve on 3 and Wales on 1.
Well done, Wales.
It's Wales. This is mainly so that when Sarah Jones watches this back, she's like, I feel like I was almost there. I won't do it in her voice because we talked about how offensive that is when English people do Welsh accents. Let's move on to our final round. I'm so looking forward to this. Our final round, it's a talent contest. So the Rise of the Resistance Festival, when you can find out more about it by going to nosocomial.online. Find out more about it. It's all about helping to raise awareness of the topics of antimicrobes, microbes, resistance, microbe resistance, and antimicrobial resistance, all those things together. And but the thing the world is really lacking is a really great way of communicating the dangers of antimicrobial resistance. So what I've done is I've asked all of our competitors to write and perform a limerick that we can use as the front piece for a massive international marketing campaign to educate the world about the dangers of antimicrobial resistance. Now, we all know the limerick is the coming wave of communication. Like, we've had YouTube, that's done. We've had Twitch, that's done. We've had TikTok, that's done. It's limericks now. All of the millennials now are like mood at the concept of the limericks. They're loving it. So this limericks is how we're going to do it. Limericks is how we're going to save the world. So let's find out these limericks. We're going to go to Charlotte first, I think, this time, because Charlotte's in Limerick. Well, she's in Wales, which is nearer Limerick than anybody else who's currently playing.
Didn't know it was
Limerick,
a place.
for those of you, Limerick's in Ireland. Yeah. I don't have the Irish national anthem to just play. I really should. I should get more national anthems on here because that's what people come for mainly. It's the YouTube rips of rugby audiences singing anthems. Charlotte, right, let's hear it. Your limerick to educate the world about the dangers of... Now, just to be clear, there are people who have large budgets available for communication of this issue on watching this, right? So if you really nail this, you might get a grant. So let's hear it. Your limerick, please, Charlotte Mykura.
Yeah, I just got to put it together, guys. I'm really... Whew. There once was a friend called Antibiotic who I thought could help my snot. I ate way too many, even though they were spenny. Now our bodies will all die and rot. I could only just say that without cracking up after your introduction.
Oh my god! That was like my son wrote it, and for reference, he's 2.5. No, he never talks. He's not interested in bombs, but he does like to clarify who's got what genitalia. Genitalia in their world is classified as either PP or JJ. And so we go like, has Dada got a JJ? He goes, no! Dada PP! Has Ben got a PP? Ben PP. And he'll do this as you walk in the park through a large group of strangers. He'll suddenly just think of what's going on and just be like, Mama JJ! Let's not, Ben. Let's not act like this is the thing we talk about all the time at home, even though we do, but it's always him who brings it up. That was a marvellous limerick. Let's fly over to Kip Heath, the genuine antimicrobial resistance avenger that we have amongst us. She's like the Hulk of killing bugs. Shah is like the Hulk of growing bugs. Kip, what's your limerick to educate the world about? Now, your boss has said if this is good enough, you get a promotion on the spot.
I got you a picture with of the chief exec in your office today. Anyway, I should apologize to Kate up front for this. There once was a Staph aureus bacteria that had lived in humans for millennia. Then penicillin arrived and started a fight that Staph will win because humans are inferior.
I mean, I'm giving a lot of points here for the accuracy, but none for the rhyming.
Millennia.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's nice. They end in the same letter, but that's not how rhyming works. Have another point for the scientific accuracy and another one as well, but just none for the rhyming. Mainly, I'm giving more to the scientific accuracy to make the none for the rhyming feel even more painful in comparison. I mean, you don't care. You're just getting points, but just history will judge you. That was wonderful, and I liked it. I liked it for its, like, it was like watching a newborn deer try and walk. It was, you knew it would be elegant one day, but right now it's a stumbly mess. Let's go and talk to Dr. Faz Alam, the man who used to take swabs of rats' bumholes. Is that right?
No, I mean,
That's just a meme.
what else you imagine I do in my spare time?
The good news is, if you swab a rat's bumhole, it means you don't have to swab a mouse's bumhole.
They got 8.
They got like that arrangement going. Like I'll take this bullet for you, kid.
Just a point for Kate, the only person who spotted the callback there. We didn't laugh. That's how you indicate you got it. Faz, what's your limerick?
It's more of a sea shanty, so I'll just get.
That's wait. That's a point for Kate and Kip's team for Faz not reading the fucking question. Faz.
There once were some drugs that cured TB, staphylococcus, strep, and leprosy. Survival went up, the death dipped down. Then woe, my medicines, woe. Soon may the resistance come to bacterial illness will succumb. When antibiotics are gone, will surely be brought low. The cut seemed safe to ignore, then MRSA infected the sore. The surgeon called all my hands and swore he'd take that whole damn toe. Soon may the amputations come, to bacterial illness will succumb. When the antibiotics are gone, will surely be brought low. Before the surgeon could spill some red, bacteria had grown, the seed had spread through the arteries to the head, then the heartbeat slowed. Soon may the funeral come, to bacterial illness will succumb. When antibiotics are gone, we'll bury our friends below.
Sorry, the sound is I'm just doing some admin. I mean, marvelous, but you need something for the future, Faz. Sea shanties on TikTok. That's very 2020. How do we take it forward? That's why we needed limericks. You're living in the past, mate. You're living in the past. I mean, I gave you a load of points, but they're retro points. They're I mean, they're only worth something in a vintage shop. They're cheap in a charity shop. But I mean, it was a beautiful piece, but like historical reenactment is not what we're after. We're cutting edge. It's the limerick. You just wait when DMX comes back from the grave as a revenant. He's going to be doing limericks about antimicrobial resistance. Kate, can you save us?
I hope so.
Sorry, I'll do you a bigger build-up because you deserve it. You shouldn't suffer because of how depressed I am about Faz living in the past. Mostly it's because I really like Faz and I just want him to be successful and happy. But part of that is he's going to have to stop reliving his childhood in 2020 and move into the future. Let's go to Kate Hunter. She's got qualifications in English literature. She might know what a limerick is.
If you continue to use the same drug, the infection will soon start to shrug. If you persist, it learns to resist, and more graves will soon have to be dug.
Right, that many points for reading the question and knowing what rhyming is. I mean, that could legitimately be used. You could print that on a T-shirt. We could get who's really popular with the millennials? Justin Bieber. We could get Justin Bieber to sing it in a collaboration with Justin Timberlake. That's good, isn't it? For the Generation Z, they like them. And that would be brilliant. And then that would solve the problem of antimicrobial resistance. People would run into the fields in America and shout, "Don't give that cow penicillin," or whatever it is they do. Those weird American. Don't eat meat in America, friends, or indeed anywhere, because meat is murder. Let's not forget. Whoever made that noise, that was a wonderful thing to record. So we've come to the end of Emily. Now, Emily here says those Justins are so old. Yes. Mood, Emily, mood. Yeah. Emily's now explaining the joke. Thanks, Emily. Mood.
Oh no.
Mood again. That's the problem with young people, you see. They don't realize that jokes have been done before. Right, let's go and find out the final score. I'm just bullying Leah's workmates now. Fuck it, whatever. Let's go and find out. Like, she's been holding it together all night. She's been doing this faster than anyone's ever done this. She's been having to wipe a lot out later when I said take all those points away for some minor infraction that no one knew was in the rules. And now she's going to declare the winner. So let's build some tension.
Final scores. Team Doctors, 83.
Oh, that's
Team
a good score.
81.
81! They took it in the last round with the very final answer through the virtues of actually understanding and reading the question. Team Doctors have taken it. Team Doctors, have you got anything to say to the losers?
Well, I guess, I was only going to say, like, reading the question is kind of what helped me pass high school, which is pretty much where my education ends. So I could just, like, advise you to go back to high school.
I'd say bring an actress to a science fight.
Yes.
It's what every teacher has said to every one of you a million
read the
times
fucking
over the
question.
years. Read the fucking question. Right, friends. I've been Steve Cross. I've been assisted by Leah Morgan, and we've had these two incredible teams. Teams, before we go, has anyone got anything else that they would like to advertise to all of our wonderful people? Remember to go to this to see this.
You can come and you can try and find me, I guess. I think my show's going to be called Gut Feelings at the festivals, but I assume someone's already done that name. So maybe I was thinking of using a Z instead of an S on feelings. Is that cool? I'm not sure. Anyway.
Yeah, and years ago.
Gut Feelings. Come and see me at Green Man if you're there, or Norwich. and Our Disgusting Planet. That's my other show, which is wonderful. And we talk about all sorts of things, not just poo and wee and earwax and amniotic fluid, which is basically the same as piss, but it's all good. Come along.
It's not the same, because when my partner's waters broke, she wasn't sure, and she said I might have just done a big wee, and one of the people in the hospital picked up one of the big wads of towel that he'd absorbed it all on, and he went, no, that's your waters breaking.
It's because it's the baby's wee, but it's not her wee. They're slightly different, aren't they, right? The baby swims around as in its own piss when it's gestating. It's lovely, isn't it? We all started off in a sack of piss.
Charlotte, don't start with your discrimination. There were 2 babies.
Oh,
The
I'm
baby
so
is a
sorry.
terrible assumption to make. That's really offensive.
Oh,
You need to be twin-clusive in your language.
The selection of
another point to
gestating
me.
fetuses.
Yeah.
Twin-clusive is my new thing I'm going to say. Right, brilliant. Anyone else with anything to advertise?
No.
Faz's YouTube Microbiology Journal Club. There it is.
Yeah, come and join that if you're a real hardcore nerd.
Don't join it, friends. Don't join it. Don't. Life's too short.
All people do is ask me questions, and it increases my workload. So please don't.
Yeah, just don't go, and then Faz can just watch something fun while it's on. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I want to say a massive thank you to all of our guests. You've been absolutely incredible. Thank you for putting up with me and my weird mood. Do go and find out more about Rise of the Resistance. Try out all the events. There's loads of incredible, varied, like, it's not all just a man in glasses shouting at Faz Alam. It's really varied and interesting. And we'll see you, some of you, on Saturday night at a time 6, maybe 6. We'll see you at 6. Some of us. Have a brilliant rest of your day. I'm going to end this broadcast now. Bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye, friends.